Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Ben here, and today I'm bringing you another Boom Beach video. And today's video is actually going to be pretty important because we have some news about the update, the future of Boom Beach, and all this other crap in this video. Because if you're too lazy to click that in-game notification and read through the Reddit post on Boom Beach, because if you didn't know, the Boom Beach development team did a Ask Me Anything AMA on Reddit. So basically people were firing off questions yesterday, and then they would respond to the questions and everything like that. So I pretty much went through all of it, pulled through all the information that I think is interesting and that I think is useful, and it's not really in any random, it's like in a random order. So if you guys are looking to hear some cool things, you may have to, I don't know. I did not do like the important stuff first or the least important stuff last. It's all just sprawled together. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like you did, but let's get right into it. Alright, so the first question I want to address is two people were asking about new troops. One was asking, here you go, I'll pull it up for you guys. I'll pull up every question for you guys if you want to read the full thing. You just have to pause the video. But he says, hey, Boom Beach is awesome. Any plans to add new troops or troop types like the DE troops in Clash of Clans? And Boom Beach says, there will definitely be new troops in the future, but only time will tell what they are like. Then we have another question, do you have any new troops for the upcoming update? And they said no new troops in this next update. There's nothing on the table right now, but they do need, so they want a new troop in the game. So we will be getting new troops, which is kind of expected. It's just not this next update. They don't really have anything on the table yet, as they said, but that would be interesting for Boom Beach if they added, like, for the Clash of Clans, like a Dark Elixir troop, like a new resource troop for Boom Beach. That would be pretty sweet, not gonna lie. But like they said, they don't have anything planned for that at this time. For all of you guys that didn't read like the bug page of all the bugs that will be fixed in the next update, yes, medics will be back to normal after this update. It was a big like bug in the game. For those of you that didn't know. So this next one is really key for all you task force leaders out there, and I'm really glad this is actually getting added into the, it should be getting added into the game because they have some concepts for it. But yeah, I remember talking to Tim and some of the Boom Beach guys about this when I was actually in Finland. So it's sweet to see this coming into the game because it'll help out all you task force members and leaders that are trying to run a successful task force. Basically, someone asked, is there any way to help with the leaders and weeding out all the inactive people and all that in the task force? And then as you can see this picture here, there is like these green lights, gray lights, and yellow lights, and I'll explain what those are. So basically, everyone, if you click on a certain button in your task force, you'll see who is attacked in the operation, who didn't attack, and who is not available to attack. The not available to attack is the yellow circle, and that is for people that have like joined late in the operation, or yeah, they just joined the task force. And then the gray light means that you did not attack, and then the green light is you did attack, so you're good to go. So basically it's just gonna be able to be easier to see who hasn't been attacking and who has. So you can see like on this picture, if like team member 46 hasn't been attacking, you see his name gray all the time in the operation, you know he might get the boot. But that's pretty sweet. I'm excited for that. So basically our next question is gonna have to deal with Boom Beach and the base editor. Everybody has been wanting a base editor, especially now since Hammerman came out, so you need like 2 different layouts to tweak maybe. And a lot of you, I'm pretty sure a lot of you are lazy like myself and don't even want to change your base back because it takes forever. So then another person asked, so is it gonna be like the layout editor in Clash of Clans but in a different style to fit Boom Beach's mechanisms, right? And then basically said it's not going to be like Clash Clans. You will have to edit the base the same way you currently do, so that's big. But once you are done and happy with your layout, there's a button on HQ where you can save it. So what that means is technically there isn't a base layout editor. You still have to edit your base the same way. You can just save that layout, so you have different layouts you can save. So hey, it's better than nothing, honestly, because who wants to you only have to rearrange your base like 2 or 3 times, depending on if you maybe you have a base style for this prototype module or this prototype module, and then you have your layout for Hammerman, then you have your layout for warriors or tanks or whatever. You still can save those. So yeah, of course it's gonna take a little bit of time to rearrange the base, but it's better than having to redo it all over again. You can just save it. So I'm happy for that. If there's no editor, that's fine, as long as there's a way to save my freaking base. So fortunately it's not like Clash of Clans, but whatever. It's good enough. The next question we have here is, when is the new update? And basically Boom Beach says, if all goes to plan, early next week. We intended it to go live this week, but all didn't go to plan. So, as we sit right now, or as we sit yesterday when they answered this question, it was set to release next week. So, if everything goes to plan, the update will be next week, but of course that's subject to change. Alright, this next question is really interesting. It was on the submarine. Basically, this guy asked, is there going to be any improvements to the submarine, as they feel as though the game could be needed with or made without it? And Boom Beach replied, actually, they're not satisfied with the submarine either. They feel as though it's like a separate mini game that really doesn't have like a good purpose. And they actually thought about cutting it in the future. And I don't want them to cut the submarine at all. But they said they're working on new mechanics for it. The reason why I can see them not liking it, because like all you do is like click on your map and then you have it dive. But it would be sweet maybe if like, I don't know, they could revamp it, not completely get rid of it. I do not want them to get rid of it because it's hard enough when you're already my high level, or like or any high level, doesn't matter what level, like if you're stacked on gold, there's not many uses for gold when you have all your troops and stuff maxed out, or the upgrade times are a while. So like it's nice to have the submarine to be able to dive for that gold, and then it's also another way to get fragments and shards and master crystals. And then if you need resources too. So I do not want them to get rid of the submarine. I think it should stay. If they needed to make some changes to it to make it feel more a part of the game, that's fine, but I don't think they should get rid of it. Alright, so this next long kind of question here is there going to be able to like share attacks and the replays and stuff like that? Boom Beach basically says we are adding battle result sharing in the next update. So for all of you that have good attacks and want to share them, you can do that with your task force and everything like that in the next update. Alright, next up, HQ21, will this be added into the game? Boom Beach says HQ21 is possible, but it's not currently planned. So in the future, of course, like anything, we'll probably see an HQ21. Don't know when, but probably in the future. And then they asked, is there any chance of an expansion to the Hammerman Saga? And they said we added the Hammerman attacks. I think we'll see more in this Terror Saga next. So that's actually a good tidbit of information there, because they added the Hammerman attacks, they added a new event, Gearhart. So if they're adding more to the Terror Saga, we might see a new event or some sort of side thing to do, which is going to be sweet because it's more content for the game. Alright, so this next question pertains to all you warrior lovers out there. This guy was asking, he's basically saying warriors aren't possible to defend on resource bases. Instead of changing the warriors, because that might like break them, is there going to be any changes to the resource bases themselves? And then Boom Beach says they've talked about this like a lot, maybe adding shock launchers, new mines, blah 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 blah, but they don't have anything set in stone. They said they're not going to be adding shock launchers, they don't think, but maybe more mines and stuff like that. So maybe in the future we'll see some changes to the resource bases themselves, but as of right now I think they'll probably be staying the same. And this next one is just kind of funny, because of the short response that they got. But someone was like, will there be a new troop in the next update? And Boom Beach is just like, no. Like I saw that and I started laughing, but I just threw it in there because it's funny. Because I already answered that earlier in the video though. And then this one's for prototype weapons. I actually thought this was interesting as well. Do you think that certain prototypes are too strong? Is there a plan to nerf them, either by reducing their defensive statistics, or by making it more complicated to have parts, or by reducing the life duration of a prototype? So basically he's asking, are any of the prototypes you think going to be getting a nerf or a buff or anything like that? And they said, we haven't talked about the prototypes in a while, but I personally think that the laser beam is underpowered and needs a buff. The shock blaster might be a little too strong, but this is just my opinion, and I hope the designers keep it as it is. I love my shock blaster. So basically he says laser beam feels a little bit underpowered compared to the other ones, which I do agree, but there might not be changes to any other prototypes. They might just buff one, which is fine, because I still feel it's early in the prototype module age since they came out, so they probably don't have a lot of numbers on if it's balanced or not balanced yet on all of them. So I don't expect to see any changes in this next update to them. Maybe in the next one, I'm not sure. For those of you achievement lovers, someone asked, is there going to be any new achievements? And then they said, we did have plans to add more of them. We'd like to do a bigger batch of them once we start adding more. So, if what I get from that is they have achievements they want to add. There's just not enough of them they think they want to add at one time. Because I'm sure they could have like Hammerman attacks achievements, Gearhart achievements, and maybe even operation achievements. So maybe in the near future we'll be getting new achievements, which is pretty sweet. Alright, so some of you know the name General Zhao. It's basically, he was shown like early on in the game as like your leader and stuff like that, if I do remember correctly. And basically this guy was asking who General Zhao was, and Boom Beach is like, General Zhao is a true war hero. And then he goes on to say like a good thing about him or whatever, how he helped out in the game. If you guys follow Boom Beach, he's not a real person. Then, or he may be a real person, I don't know. But then basically at the end, this is the only important part, he says, the legend of General Zhao is not over. What that means to me is, in the future we'll be seeing some General Zhao stuff, which is pretty sweet. Don't know exactly what they would do. Maybe it'd be a new event that they could add, because in the last update they said they have this 6-day rotation going on, so they could possibly add new events in the future. And if they're going to be adding Dr. Terror, something to the Dr. Terror saga, and then maybe something new with General Zhao, those could be new events, it could be new things, but this is something to keep in mind. So I got two more questions for you guys. This next one is there anything big coming apart from the base layout saver? He says base editor, but next update, if so, what? Boom Beach says battle result sharing and the bug fixes mentioned earlier. This was aimed to be, I can pull up the bug fixes right here, so it's like the critters aren't going to be followed by flares, or gunboat abilities aren't going to affect them. I think you can't like smoke on the pyre, I think, which is like the water where it's showing on the base when you land. And there's a few others I kind of forgot what they are, but I'll pull that up on the screen if you want to read those. And then he says this was aimed to be a bit of a smaller update before most of the team heads off for summer vacations, which is in July, I think. So, which is actually pretty sweet that they pulled out an update before they went off for vacation, because last year when they did this, they left for summer vacation, like they didn't pull out an update or anything changed to the game. So there was a good, like, I think 3 or 4 months where there wasn't a Boom Beach update, and that kind of sucked. So at least they're pulling out something, and the last update was still fairly recent and it was a big one, so I'm cool with that. And this is the last question though. Why are the Gearhart and Hammerman events so unbalanced? Hammerman is dependent on victory point levels, so even an HQ 15 could win, but Gearhart is the same for everyone, so you need at least an HQ 17 plus to win. Can't we have different building levels or statue bonuses depending on victory point levels for Gearhart? So basically what he's saying is he feels as though Hammerman is beatable by anyone. Why isn't Gearhart the same way? And Boom Beach says Gearhart event, it was designed intentionally to work like Dr. Terror, the same for all players. However, it seems like we made some miscalculations on how achievable the first couple of thresholds are for players who've just unlocked her, and she's not very satisfying to attempt at that level. So in the next update, we are lowering the first threshold to 2 gears and also increasing the total amount of thresholds to 7. This should make her event more satisfying. But to answer your question more directly, no, we don't have any plans to change her victory point, to change her difficulty based on victory points. In regards to Hammerman attacks the event, we are not completely satisfied with how it works overall, and will probably be looking to improve it in the future. So to recap that, if you missed some of that, what he's saying about Gearhart is, yes, it's hard, we're not making it easier, but we are changing the amount of thresholds there are. So you know how there's like 4 thresholds for like 25 gear points, and then like 40, and then like 75 and 100, whatever they are, I don't know what they are. They're changing that, so the first threshold will be like 2, and then there's gonna be 7 of them though, so you have more chances to get the resources, instead of just, because they found it was difficult for a lot of people to even reach a threshold, so it's like there's some benefit to attacking it. And then they also might be changing how Hammerman works, because they feel as though it might be too easy. I don't know, because if you've seen these last couple times on Hammerman, he's actually been pretty rough. So they might be changing that a little bit, or he's not been pretty rough, he's been pretty easy, that's what I meant. So they might be changing those events, but let me know what you guys think is most interesting, what you guys want to see most in the game. But as always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like it, and don't forget to subscribe for more Boom Beach videos if you're not ready. Hope you guys have a wonderful day or night, and I'll see you guys later.